Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Face Palm Sunday, where we talk about the dumbest things on the internet. I'd also like to thank Daniel for letting me be on his channel. Thank you, man. I'm glad you give people chances like you always do, because every now and again I see you giving people chances, and I have to sit here and say thanks.
Hey internet, question. Have you ever worried that someone was lying about rape?
If they broke the law by lying, well, they should face the consequences.
Every single time a woman comes forward about having been abused by a beloved movie star, musician, TV star, YouTubers, that star's fans immediately accuse her of lying. There are men's groups online that claim that women lie about rape 90% of the time.
What groups, Laci? What fucking groups have been saying this? Okay, you have listed fucking zero on here. And you're just saying, well, a bunch of these men in these fucking groups, or these Facebook groups, are sitting here saying women lie 90% of the time about fucking rape. When you don't list nothing. You list absolutely nothing on there about that.
A sheriff in Idaho very recently claimed that they don't need a better system for rape kits which collect evidence because most victims are liars.
The majority of our rapes that are called in are actual consensual sex.
What the fuck did he say that they don't need rape kits? Where they don't need to start using rape kits? Okay, all he said was most of the calls that we've gotten was from consensual sex, meaning the sex was legit, and that they're lying about it. Okay, yes, rape kits do help collect evidence to sit here and see if the person did or did not rape them. That's all there is to it.
And I mean, look, couldn't you or me or anybody in the world just make up a rape for attention to get revenge out of jealousy, as Toby Turner's mom posted on Facebook? Yeah, you could totally do that. But would you do that? And
yes, Laci, they would do that. Do you not remember the University of Virginia, where a woman sat here and said that she was gang raped, that later turned out to be false?
how often does that actually happen? The FBI states that between 2 and 8% of rape reports are false, which is actually a low number in the crime world.
That has been proven wrong by the factual feminist. We have no numbers for it. We don't know the numbers.
Other crimes, like say theft, they hover around 10% false reports. And even that 2 to 8% statistic is deceptive. It includes reports where someone accidentally identified the wrong person, reports that are thrown out because of inconsistent details, but it is a well-known fact amongst victimologists that trauma affects your memory. And that 2 to 8% includes survivors who recanted. Someone could take it back because they were lying, sure, but much more commonly, they take it back because they're being pressured to take it back, or because they've decided they'd rather just not deal with it. So what does this mean? It means that malicious, actually false reports and allegations are pretty rare. And yet, doubting someone, calling them a liar when they come forward is extremely common.
Who are these people, Laci? Who are they? If you can't give us anything, and you're just going on by what people say, generalizing this shit, you have nothing to stand on.
Many of the reasons why we're inclined to doubt someone revolve around rape myths, myths about victims, and myths about gender.
Or they are lying, Laci. Did you ever think about that? They could be lying.
For one, most perpetrators aren't greasy, creepy guys who hang out in the shadows. They're just regular people in our lives.
And Laci is right. You know, they could be men, women, they could be rich, poor, you name it. They can look like everyday fucking people.
When fans, friends, family, coworkers find out that someone that they know and love did something terrible, it can be really hard to grapple with and accept, and instead, they choose to deny it.
Laci, let's say a loved one committed a crime. You would do everything you can to make sure that they didn't go to jail or prison, depending on the crime. You would do whatever it takes to make sure that they didn't go. You would lie on their behalf.
That halo effect around a perpetrator can be so strong that you can have cases like Cosby's where nearly 60 women come forward and report and people still don't believe that anything happened.
You know, the same could be said for you, Laci, because a lot of people will come to your defense and believe you right off bat without researching. And just like the whole Tobuscus thing, you know, a lot of people are going to sit here and defend him because they like him, because they're a fan of his content. They don't want anything bad happening to him, and they're going to already sit here and say, well, that's false, she's lying. And there's already people who are a fan of that one girl that accused him of rape. I don't know who it is. But, you know, she's going to have her fans defend her and sitting here saying, well, Tobuscus is a rapist.
Sometimes the perpetrator even goes so far as to say, I didn't do it. They're lying. This affirms people who don't want to believe that the sexual assault happened. There are a lot of people, particularly in the States, who believe that in order for a rape to be real, you have to have reported it. And in order for that report to be true, a court must convict them as guilty.
That is why we have a court system. That is why we have a justice system, Laci, to determine if he is guilty or not.
In reality, about 68% of victims of sexual crimes don't report, and only 2% of rapists ever see a day in jail.
Where's the evidence, Laci? You keep sitting here saying all these percentages and shit, and yet you don't provide it. Give us some fucking proof here.
Does that mean that 98% of people are just lying? No, it means that our courts aren't arbiters of truth, and they're not always adequately equipped to handle sexual crimes. Then there are myths about how a real victim would act. In reality, there's no one response to sexual assault. Different people handle it in lots of different ways. Another myth when it comes to men is the belief that men can't actually be raped. Men want sex all the time. He had an erection. He was into it. But an erection is not consent. And increased blood flow can be a fight or flight response.
And Laci is right, you know, just because a guy has an erection does not mean he is wanting sex.
Lastly, one of the sneakiest and I think most pervasive reasons why people don't believe survivors is that most survivors are women.
Why does it have to be women? Okay, if the majority are women, it's not because of their gender, okay? Maybe it's because they actually fucking lied. Or maybe that there's a lack of evidence that they just could not find. Did you ever think about that, Laci?
There are many subconscious sexist beliefs that we learn all throughout our lives that come in and inform our opinions.
Laci, it all depends on the fucking person. Okay? And it really does. But she's not right, but she's not wrong. It really depends on the person.
That women lie a lot, we're not trustworthy, we're manipulative.
Where are you getting this from? Show us some fucking proof.
You know, bitches be crazy.
Laci, you are crazy. You're not Arnita Sarkeesian crazy, but you're fucking crazy. Alright guys, that's all the time I have. Links down below to the Factual Feminist and Thunderfoot's video. The proof you need. And I'm the Political Wolf, and I'd like to thank Daniel again for letting me on here. Thank you, dude. You're awesome. And also, I also go to his TeamSpeak if you want that. The link's down below as well, so come on by. We play games together. A lot of us do different things. Not all of us are playing the same thing, and you should come by.